We could not be more excited to have our self-proclaimed #1 fan on the podcast today. She's got an infectious attitude and a unique perspective on being involved in the Great Falls community. Meet Victoria coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth,
And we're No Damn Experts. Shannon, it's been a great 2-week hiatus, I feel, since we've recorded a
Was it
podcast
2 weeks?
episode.
I thought Corey was last week.
I have no idea what has happened.
It's been a week or two. Yeah.
So with that, I'd love to know what you've done. And I think our guest even wants to know.
She wants to know. Everyone wants
what's
to know
going
what's
on
happening today. Well, I'm very excited to introduce Victoria. She is here today because, for lots of reasons. One, she is an avid listener of the podcast. So we thought it'd be fun to bring in someone who's been an avid listener and actually pays attention, which she's shown that.
Yeah. People, she showed up in a Bobcat sweatshirt.
Yeah. Knew your lingo.
Yep. She acknowledged my current spouse. So we're already on a good footing here.
Absolutely. She's also been, it's been fun to connect with her on social media too. And we've shared some of her photos that she's taken out on the River's Edge Trail and things with her dogs and stuff like that on our channels as well. So she's just been a good champion of Great Falls and someone with a newer perspective on our community. And so that's what you're doing here.
Well, fantastic.
So welcome.
Maybe
welcome,
I'm like
Victoria.
your #1 fan.
Oh, I love that.
Maybe we can say that.
We'll give you a
there
badge.
we go.
Yeah, we'll give you that's what we'll call this episode. Our #1 fan.
There we go.
Perfect.
So, Victoria, what are the details? Shannon just said you're newer to Great Falls. So, what's your story? How'd you end up here? Why are you here? How long have you been here?
Why did I choose Great Falls?
Yeah.
Where
Well-
did you come from?
Give us your life story.
Sounds
Start
good.
wherever you want to.
Well, I feel like Great Falls like chose me, really. I don't know about you, but sometimes in my life, I feel like I've been like pushing the boulder up the hill, like really having to work for it. During the pandemic, it was like I needed to leave Seattle. And so I chose Montana. I was coming here maybe like every other month, and I went to Bozeman, went to Missoula. What I would do is I would like go and like leave Friday, and then you guys had like a fly fishing thing about a month ago, and I'd go fly fishing all day on Saturday, and then I'd use Zulo and like then go house hunting on Sunday.
Okay.
Then I would, take a plane back to Seattle. Nobody knew I was doing this. And I did that for an entire year, probably every, 8 weeks I came here.
Wow.
So, you secret shopped the whole state.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
Most
So
definitely.
you knew you wanted Montana. You knew you were drawn to Montana, and then it was kind of narrowing where.
Well, yes. At first, then I got priced out of Bozeman,
Yeah.
as we do.
Yeah.
And so then I looked more at like Oklahoma and Texas. And then I was like, I have a loan ready for Montana.
Yeah.
Let's open up the entire state. I had never heard of Great Falls. I went on Zillow and I'm like, okay, there's places in Great Falls and Billings, and researched it. I'm like, okay, Great Falls is a better place.
Smart choice. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we couldn't disagree with
right.
you on
I
that.
mean,
Yeah. And then it just happened to me. Like I found this very aggressive real estate agent, if I can say her name, Lynn Kenyon.
Sure.
She is out in Augusta, and she just made it happen for me. It was the whole process of buying the house, just like it just happened to me. And I never actually saw the house before
my
we closed.
goodness.
It was all virtual until
How unnerving is that?
How brave is that? Yeah.
yeah, but at that point you're like, you're like, I mean,
You were so
my Seattle
ready.
friends are going to listen to this. So Seattle is a great town, but I was ready to move on. It was both work stuff and everything. I was like, okay, time to spend the next half of my life where I am calm and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then that just happened, and came here to pick up my puppy Ray, and then drove back to Seattle, and just like knew that, okay, this is happening to me, so I'm not working for this, and so this is the place to be. Yeah.
Wow.
But
And
oh my
so that
gosh.
was pandemic time frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, like that first year though, like I taught dance for 20 years. So
Okay.
I'm like, I do consider myself an extrovert that way, but that like pandemic time, like you kind of be more introverted. And then my first year here, oh my gosh, I didn't know what to do. Like, is there internet in Montana? And so I like got 3 different, different styles of internet and that type of stuff. But it was the neighbors, the kind neighbors that like made it happen. And it just happened so easily and organically. And then after being here that first year, it was like, okay, now let's see what's out there. And you guys talk about it being like the base camp. And then for me, I totally felt like being in the middle of Montana, it is the base camp. Now, I did find out Lewistown's actually the middle of the Montana.
The
It's
official
the
middle.
actual center
Yes.
of the state. Yeah.
But then being in Great Falls, like I went to Lewistown, I went on that train that they have.
Oh, the Charlie Russell
yes.
Choo Choo. Yeah.
And then I found out like here in Great Falls, you see all these signs about the Yogo.
Sapphires?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so then like, oh, you can go on a mining expedition there if you want to. And then so come back here. And so then that second year I was like, just totally just went from Great Falls. Okay, let's go up to Havre. And then I come back. And then I go up to Shelby was wonderful. There's a great story there that I have. And then I come back. But Great Falls is definitely, as you guys talk about, like the base camp, the middle of Montana, to like learn and explore this amazing state. So
Did your Augusta realtor get you in Great Falls, or did she force you into Augusta?
No, she was the one that was like, okay, because there was housing at the time. There was housing in Billings and there was housing in Great Falls in my price range. And I was like, I didn't know, like, what's better? She goes, oh, Great Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know, like, and since then I've like gone up to Augusta, and she has like a Halloween thing that she does. And then coming up, there's the Augusta Rodeo. And so I'll be going there. I'm like, what? I go, what seed do you have? And she sent me this seed. Like, this is how people are in Montana.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people actually like help you here.
Yeah.
You know, in Seattle, when you meet someone, the first thing they ask you is, what do you do for a living? They want to know that, right? Here, they ask you, where do you live?
Yeah. That's true.
And so it's like, maybe it's like north of north part of Great Falls or south part. I don't know why they want to ask you that quite yet. But
I guess trying to figure out, really who you are.
yeah.
Are you from the north side? Like
Right.
there's neighborhoods or
Neighborhoods?
something
Yeah.
in town where,
funny.
you're one of those people.
Right.
Yeah.
I've lived in like 3 different sections in town, so I
Yeah.
don't know which one I'm supposed to identify with.
That's
but
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
I use the term that Spectrum told me, which is I live in the country. And I use air quotes because I am 7 miles from the center of downtown.
Yeah.
And
But you're
that's not the
still out
country
of
because I
city
grew
limits.
up in the actual country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the country.
Like, you grew up in a town of what, like 20 people?
5.
5. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I was exaggerating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit smaller
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
But where I went to high school was a lot bigger. I think it had like 75 people when I was
Yeah.
growing up. So, yeah.
Probably the only thing I would change is like maybe if I was like one more block away, then I could have chickens. But right now I'm not allowed chickens, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
next time.
My friend has chickens, and I've often criticized her for it because I used to work with Wilcox Farms, not work with them. I just hung out there because it's a really cool place.
At the egg.
Yeah, Montana
Facility?
Egg Facility. Yeah. And
You
so
can
when,
just hang out there, huh?
if you have certain credentials, you know, you can. And I used to have that kind of status in my life where I
Okay.
could go and watch them sort the eggs. And it's a phenomenal
Curious what
process.
status this is.
Yeah, one day you might get it. I don't know. And so
boy.
when I was there, one of the things that I learned from like the lead manufacturing guy is how much residential bird populations put commercial egg operations at risk because of bird flu.
Oh, interesting.
So it kind of stuck with me. And so I always tell my friend who has chickens, and as you know on the podcast, I'm not a kind person. And so my friend with the chicken, she's like, I said, you're just causing the greatest demise of commercial egg production on planet Earth by
my
having
gosh.
domestic chickens. And she's like, shut up with your thing. I'm having chickens. Well, I was just there last week.
Do they have bird flu?
No.
Oh.
They're so fat. I was trying to
Oh my
convince
gosh.
her dog to take one down so we could fry it up and I'd share
Oh my
it with
gosh.
my
You're
friend's
just
like,
causing all kinds of
quit
issues with
talking
the
with the
chickens.
dog about trying to get the
Yeah.
chicken. I'm like, that's a big fat chicken. It'll be good eating.
That's okay. I go to
But then I take her eggs. Like she
Yeah.
gives me eggs.
Yeah.
yeah.
That sounds
So
nice.
people listening might not know because they can't see me. I'm bald and I'm going through chemo right now. But the one thing I do is I do these IV vitamin infusions at this place called Full Circle Health right there
Yeah.
by Magpie.
Which, oddly enough, is part of the hydration stations for Mimosa
Oh,
Showdown,
there
which
you
is
go.
Saturday.
I'm going there
Perfect.
at 8 o'clock before Mimosa Showdown, just to make sure.
Nice.
And but the lady there, the nurse there, she's so kind. She gives me a dozen eggs every time I go.
Oh,
Well,
nice
Right?
little
it's like you
bonus.
get your vitamins, you get hydration, you get your
good
eggs.
farm fresh
Yeah.
eggs.
We are right on the edge of town. I mean, there's just a field behind us, and I always want, like we've talked about, how we would want a few chickens for fresh eggs, but we can't, and then I don't know.
Sometimes
Seems
they don't lay
problematic.
eggs. They seem to me like a lot more work than they're worth
Yeah.
because you feed those freeloaders for a long time and then
Yeah.
eventually you get some chicken or get some eggs and then
Yeah.
they stop again. And you're like, man,
Yeah,
I'm a grocery store gal.
it's kind of like having our garden too. I never really know what we're actually gonna.
Yeah,
get
and
out of
honestly,
it.
when I first moved here, so in Seattle, I lived in a in a townhome, right?
Okay.
And so, and I'm the youngest of 6 kids,
Okay.
so I never in my life mowed a lawn.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah. So
It's
that's been a new
total
adventure
city
for you.
girl moving to Montana
Yeah.
and like, okay, I literally had this gentleman. He came every Thursday for 2 hours. And he would just like kind of put up like, the stuff on my walls. And then I'm like, okay, you need to now teach me how to mow my lawn. He's like, what? And so we went to Ace Hardware and, he like taught me how to mow
Oh
my
my
lawn.
gosh.
It was just like so
That's
sweet.
great.
He's a great friend and his family, and I call him my rent-a-husband, you know.
Perfect.
But like those were the things like a city girl moving to Montana I didn't know how to do.
Sure.
So but now I'm like pretty darn good at it. So
Nice.
yeah.
Do you enjoy mowing the lawn?
Oh yes, because I get to listen to this podcast.
Oh,
If I didn't have housework to do and mowing the lawn, I
we
wouldn't
keep
have
you
known
company
you guys.
during your
Yes.
chores. I love it.
That
That's
is
fantastic.
That is great.
Yeah.
So from the podcast, what adventures have you taken or what's on your list of things you want to do that you've heard us talk about that you haven't done yet?
Ooh, pop quiz.
No, this is my life, is your podcast. So your podcast is great because it's like usually 3 weeks in advance until the event.
Sure.
And you guys do a
We try.
great job of that. So you had the Pickup Man podcast,
Yes,
Yeah.
with
which is
Gary
like
Rimple.
one of my favorites.
He was
I
good.
had no idea that entire industry.
Right.
And so then I went to the rodeo after that. At the Mimosa Showdown, I knew about last year, but then I didn't know the date for this year. And then you guys had it. And I was like, looked at my calendar. I'm like, oh, I have a fly fishing trip that day. So I moved the fly fishing trip to June. And
my
then
goodness.
I texted a friend. I'm like, okay, are we doing the Mimosa Showdown? Are we doing T-shirts? What's going on?
Yeah.
So then definitely do the Mimosa Showdown.
that.
And then
Do you dress real quick? You're one of the ones you're doing t-shirts, like you're going full in dressing up for this?
You're getting your
Well-
crew outfitted.
being new to Montana,
Mhm.
I don't try to like push my stuff onto people.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, what are they doing? And I'll just assimilate to. And so I got a text message and they're like, here's our t-shirt we're going to have. And so I go, yes, of course. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Fun.
So
does that mean you have other outfit ideas you would like to do?
well, yes,
Okay.
maybe in the future, but
Okay.
I'm the new person. And so I
Oh.
just, you know,
I say just go for it.
just
Yeah.
Well, having brought a girl into my group, who we still call New Girl, I can understand maybe those people that you hang out with are nice, but when New Girl comes up with an idea in our group, we're like, oh, shush your mouth. Like, it's not even your turn
Maybe
yet.
this is why I'm glad I don't really have like a group
Yeah,
here. They all
honestly,
live other places.
I
so
don't
maybe
know
this is
how
good.
most people are still friends with me, but
I don't honestly. Sometimes I don't know either. Hearing your stories.
and then listening to your
Anyway.
podcast, I feel like I'm friends with you
Yeah,
guys
well,
because
good.
it's like, okay, I know, like your husband doesn't like to hunt or camp and everything like that, and you're searching for an RV to go to different places.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they're getting
debacle.
closer to that
Well,
one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
bet you it happens by the end of June.
Oh,
Yep, that's my bet.
okay.
It's I
I think
just
you're far
pulling-
more sure about this than I
Yeah, I have no idea why. Like
Yeah.
that is a
She got so
complete
excited.
uninformed.
We went to the Bish's RV show, my husband and I, this last weekend, and they had some used ones. There were a couple. I was telling Rebecca there was a couple we like or whatever. And this was, I think, newer information. And so I showed her some pictures, and now she's very excited.
I'm very
at this
excited.
prospect.
I have no
She's
idea
far more
why.
excited than I am about it.
I should not be as excited as I am for them to look at campers or even consider buying one, but I guess
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your excitement.
yeah, it's really odd. I'm going to admit it's strange the things I,
like
get
it.
excited
I
about.
like it. Yeah. Okay. So, but wait, I derailed us with our
That's
outfit
fine.
conversation. So, Mimosa Showdown.
Yes.
Yes. Fun. And then you're doing a fly fishing trip that you
Yes.
rearranged.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I found out about Great Falls was I was actually, as I said, I was flying to all the different cities in Montana. And when I was in Bozeman, the fly fisherman himself said, oh, there's actually better fishing in Great Falls.
Yes.
So true.
And so then
It's
that's
refreshing to hear
It
people from
is.
Bozeman say that.
Yeah.
Nothing against Bozeman. It's
No.
just most of the time they're like, "Puh."
We're better than everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
That's
poo-poo
nice to hear.
everywhere else in the state, and we're
Yeah.
like, no,
We
everywhere's
have that for
everywhere
real.
in the state is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You may have your preferences. Everybody has their pros and cons.
Right.
I'm just glad to hear Bozeman people say we got better fly fishing.
Yeah.
it is so good. And so I found this place about 20 miles south of here. I think it's called like Montana Trout. And
Yep.
what's so great about
In
them is they have
Cascade.
Cascade. They have like a small little hotel. So if you're fly fishing all day long and you just want to like relax
Crash.
afterwards, crash,
Yeah.
then it's fantastic. And then that little town has some great like restaurants and bars. Then come back to Great Falls and enjoy that. Yeah, it is so much fun. And I mean, fly fishing as a woman, it is just amazing because when you're there and you're on the boat. And you experienced this recently.
Yeah.
And they like teach you how to do it. And now that I've kind of gone, I have kind of that muscle memory of like how to
Yeah,
actually
that,
do
like,
it.
The 11, what is it, 11 and 2 or
Yeah.
whatever that you're going between. Yeah.
Yeah, it is just, it's wonderful. It's like you're there for 8 hours, you get lunch, and then it's just amazing where it's like a meditation for me. It's like you just like chill and you're on the boat. And I want to get to that point maybe 10 years from now, you interview me and I'm like, I actually have my own boat and I'm like doing it
look at
myself.
you.
Like I would
Guiding
love-
other women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wonderful,
That
right?
I think it'd be
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, so I think that was like how I fell in love with the Great Falls was just the knowing about it and the fishing here, and then of course that I take my puppies on the riverside
Yes.
every chance I get and that type of stuff. Yeah.
So you were coming, had you fly fished before that first trip that you came out to Montana? Like, how did you get started with fly fishing?
Well, my last name is Hunt, so I grew up, and all my brothers hunted and fished. But then, as I grew up, the family kind of went away from that. So I feel like I've kind of done the full circle back to my 12-year-old self, where I'm back where I belong, where I'm like allowed, like I'm hunting and I'm fishing and I'm doing what I love to do. While in the big city of Seattle, it's not as like acceptable, if I can say that. Like you can't really like post your pictures on Facebook about your hunting.
Sure.
Right.
It's a different culture.
It is a different
Yeah.
culture. So here I just like feel like it's like I can just be my authentic self, and I'm
yeah.
so calm and happy here. Yeah.
Is your family still in the Seattle area?
Oh, I grew up in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
And so now they're all kind of still in Oregon and Idaho type stuff. And yeah,
You're the furthest west or east.
yes. And now it's very interesting to find out like a year or two after I moved, I started getting these emails or text messages like, especially being single moving, right? It's like, you just inspired me. Like, because maybe many people thought of that during the pandemic, like to, up and root their family and everything. And I just, it's just amazing to find out that other people were like, oh, I wish I did that, you know? And, you know, there's so many places in Montana, and especially like during the pandemic, Yellowstone became such a huge show. And I know that you were like I
got to be a
you
background
got to be
performer
a
in it.
background on that.
She was an actress in it. Let's just say it that way.
I mean,
Are you going to deny that?
Yeah, because the official like title is like background performer.
Oh, but you acted in it.
I mean, I
You
was
restrained
acting like a
yourself from
guest
not-
at a party. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay,
See?
sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm not going to sell you short.
Wow, thank you. I was just trying to be official. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, now
Yes.
all of a sudden we're going to be prim and proper on the whole podcast. No, you're a performer in Yellowstone.
I've
Thank
been
you.
waiting for your After Dark show. Like,
Oh my gosh.
when you guys
Yeah.
start that, can I please be
Yes,
invited to
of
that?
course,
Yeah.
of course.
Can you imagine the crap that had come out on that?
Oh my gosh.
It'd be
Yeah.
awesome. I'm just going to say. But do you find people get in their own way, preventing themselves from doing certain things because then they're holding themselves back from doing things like just uprooting your life and moving east?
Oh yeah, change is hard. It really is. And then when you want to actually like uproot and move, you're taking your entire family, most people, right? And it is interesting, like on social media, like seeing like, you know, when people from California or Washington would come to Montana, and it's like, oh no, but like when I came here, I was so accepted. Like my neighbors were just so like, I had one neighbor where I hadn't had my furniture moved in at all, and I had to fly back to Seattle, and she just like, okay, waited for the movers.
Oh my
And then she
goodness.
saw the boxes, and she just like, okay, this goes in the bedroom, this goes in the kitchen.
Oh my
And here's a
goodness.
neighbor I just met literally like for 1 hour. But that's how people here are. Like if like take grocery shopping. Like in Seattle, grocery shopping, okay, you get on Amazon, it comes an hour and a half later, right?
Right.
Here you go to Smith's, you go to Albertsons or wherever you're going. And then I learned to do is like take out the earbuds, because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
So true. It's
And
so true.
I have like met the most extraordinary people. If you were just willing to just like listen, and it was so funny. I was over at Smith's and I had my earbuds in, and he goes, "Are you an alien?" And
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
and I took one out. I'm like, what? And I think because I look like the guy from that
Is
Disney
this an
show.
adult?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So he thought I looked like Shrek with like my earbuds in. He's like, and so then but it was good. And then I learned like,
I'm like, that is like breaking all of the normal like social norm etiquette crimes as a grown adult to walk up to another grown adult and be like, are you an alien? Like
I
that's-
thought it was hilarious.
I love that you liked that though.
I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious. And so that's what I learned. Like, okay, when you're around other people, take out your earbuds and actually,
Engage in the world.
oh, it is so wonderful here. So now, like, when I go shopping, it's like, okay, add a little 20 minutes because you don't know who you're
Don't
going to
know.
meet.
Yeah.
The thing I love about grocery shopping when I'm by myself is I will stand there, and some of the shelves at the grocery stores now are 5 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And it says right on the top of it that you can't even reach it. You can
No.
barely see what's up there. It says ask for assistance. You're like, where am I
Who
supposed
am
to
I
go?
asking for? Yeah.
And so I just stand there and I'm staring, and this guy came up one time. He's like, do you need help getting that down? I'm like, I do.
Yeah, so if you just stand there and stare long enough, someone's going to offer to help. Yes, that's a
Because
good
you
idea.
sit there and you think, well, maybe if I scale this shelf and that shelf,
Oh,
or if you know, if I'm quick enough, I won't topple the entire thing on top of me.
Yeah.
But
This is how I made friends with. Have you met, just because she's a lovely human, have you met Julie at the Northwest Albertsons?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet. She'll be your.
Okay.
be
Yeah,
prepared.
be prepared. So when I worked in news and I worked till the later shifts and I was, single and all of that, oftentimes I would go grocery shopping after my shift at night. So I'd be at, the grocery store at like midnight, which unless you need something from the deli, like it's a good time to go because it's really, you don't, there's, it's not super busy. But Julie worked in the night shift and she caught me trying to climb on one of the, because I'm short and there was something up there and there's like no one in here. So she caught me trying to climb up. So she always jokes with me about that now. And I always felt like safe because I'm like, I know Julie's here. Julie knows I'm here. She'll watch out for me. And she'll also make fun of me for trying to climb on things. And
It's not just short people anymore.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, just wonderful human at the grocery store.
Oh, one thing about moving to Great Falls is learning like the different things. Like I'm a morning person, as you know. I take my puppies like early to sunrise over at the interpretive center. But so I'm coming home from that walk. I'm going grocery shopping, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting my stuff done. Okay, I did not know that you could not buy alcohol, wine,
Oh yeah,
before 8 o'clock.
Oh,
And so
well, what's
they're-
the cutoff time?
at night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
In a
technically 2.
Right, because that's when
AM.
the bar closes. But yeah, the grocery store closes earlier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
they're like, well, you can get this in 15 minutes. So I just leave it
Sit there
there.
and wait.
And I went and shopped and got more things. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we'll have to
eight. Yeah.
just learning those little
That's cute.
things. Yeah.
That's fun.
We used to have, I will not use names or locations, but when I was growing up, there used to be some people who would work nights. And then as their way home, they would pass by the bar that I would frequent. And it'd be like 6:37 in the morning. And so they couldn't stop yet and buy anything. But they're getting done with their shift. So they want to like have an after shift beer. So they used to stop in at the bar and buy the beer before they went to work. And then when I left work, I would set it out in a cooler with ice for them
So be ready.
so they could pick it up on their way
Nice.
home. There's always ways around that,
Yeah.
but never broke the law.
Look at you enabling that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So you okay? We also
Also, I
Yeah,
forgot to
yeah,
share.
yeah.
You can't return alcohol before 8 o'clock in the morning either.
Why would you return
why are you
alcohol?
returning alcohol? Yeah.
If you buy, let's say, too many bottles of wine for a going away party that you just don't need, and it's not quality bottles of wine, you can return them, but you can't do it before 8 a.m. And I thought, that's silly. I'm
right,
not
because
buying
clearly
it.
you're not drinking it.
Well, and I'm not buying it, so why
Right.
can't I return it
They
before
can't have
8?
any transaction with
Clearly.
alcohol.
So I learned that as well.
I don't think I realized you could return anything of consumable to the grocery store.
Yeah. Like if you get, I don't know, a watermelon, then you get home and cut it and it's rotten, you can
Yeah.
return that.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Oh. So
How
even
have
for,
you? Yeah.
You should talk to Julie.
I should ask. Yes, thank you. I should ask Julie
mean,
about this.
There's,
I mean, I guess that hasn't really happened, but
yeah, like, I mean, there's certain things that you may just go, I don't want this.
yeah,
I mean, because sometimes I'll,
including like fruit. Like
Yeah.
this isn't like a packaged bag of. It's not like Cheez-Its, which I would never return Cheez-Its, but
right, even if they're rotten, they're good.
right, exactly.
But I bought some butter one time and
Yeah.
didn't realize until I got it into the car that the side had been all smashed in. So I
Yeah.
returned that and got a different butter. I
Well, that one makes more sense to me.
I bought something one time, got home, went to cut it up, and it was moldy already. I
Oh,
returned
okay.
that. So there are instances where
This
it
is-
makes sense.
yeah.
You can't like buy a steak and then go, I decided I don't want the steak.
Okay, well, that's what I mean. I thought it was like that was free game, and I was like, that feels
You might
weird
be-
to return.
You might be
that.
able to. I've never tried it. There's always been a legitimate reason I didn't.
Well, yeah, I would
keep
think
the
you would
food.
have to have a reason, not just like I didn't use these.
Well, works with wine.
Learning all kinds of things. I should ask Julie I should quiz Julie on these things. Yeah.
But with the wine, though, I'll go to one of your podcasts and talk about the Pizzazz place.
Yes.
That place is fabulous. Like, because I get in a rut and I have the exact same wine and I know what I like. But then when you're part of that wine club there,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Because then it's like you get to like, okay, try something
Actually
new.
try things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I've been trying to go to like one of their events, like to like teach you how to cook things.
I love those.
Yeah.
I'm doing a knife skills one, which I probably have mentioned, but coming up in a week, next week. I'm very excited. And this one's with Chef Rhonda, and it's like a 3-hour like cooking school, like chef school style class. I'm very excited. I did one there with my mom a couple weeks ago about the art of cooking vegetables. And so it was different ideas for those and flavors. And so I bought some things and tried to incorporate it, but their classes are wonderful.
Yeah, and they have a lot of unique flavors. Like what I missed about the Seattle food was just maybe the culinary, like more the Asian dishes. And so they have a whole section there, which is like, okay, just put it into my bag, and let's figure out how to cook it later on.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful. I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
I just got salad there yesterday for lunch. They
Yeah.
have their
Yeah.
grab and go salads. Oh,
Their
so good.
chicken curry croissant sandwich from
Okay.
there. I grab and go that one quite a bit. Mhm.
They've got
Have you done their lunches or their like grab and go?
No,
Taste
not
there?
yet. No.
Yeah.
But
Add it to your
It's a
list.
great
Yeah.
like if you're gonna go do a picnic out at Ryan Island now that it's open. Great place to do that.
Yeah.
yeah, most definitely. I'll say my favorite food here, like you would think of like, oh, it's Montana, it should be a steak. And it's not. I actually learned about it from your podcast. And it is from Fifth and Wine. And it's that comfort food. Like it is, maybe I should be able to make it for myself at home, but like, I don't know what it is. The bread's a little bit thicker and there's more variety of cheese. It's literally just just that cheese sandwich, grilled cheese sandwich, and the
Oh,
tomato
yeah.
soup. It is
Not your mama's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
called
that's what
Not
it's
Your
called,
Mama's
not-
Tomato Soup. Yeah. It seems
So
simple,
good.
but there's something about it is just extra special
Yeah.
there.
I love that one. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I get to go to Fifth and Wine tomorrow night for a meeting.
Do you?
It's the
Nice.
one place I go because my husband does not take me ever. So
Oh,
I have a lot of meetings there now.
Jason likes Fifth and Wine. Yeah.
My husband
That's
does
where
not.
we met. Victoria and I met in person for the first time
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Downtown Chicks meeting. It was at Fifth and Wine.
That's true.
So,
Yeah, their mimosa looks
Yeah.
pretty good this year.
we're up to 22.
Yeah.
22 mimosas.
Yeah, at
So
7
much.
ounces, I don't
Yeah.
think I can
I
do
was
each
like,
one. But with a
Probably
group
a
of
good
a
choice.
gaggle of girls, I
Yeah.
think like we can like share a little bit and have fun and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it's my first time, so it'll be interesting like to know like, do we walk down like
yeah.
Central?
Do you have a
or-
route? Yeah. Do you have a route or a starting place?
I am just a participant.
Yeah.
I'm just showing
You're good.
up.
You're putting on the shirt and you're showing up.
Outside into downtown. That's my approach.
Yeah. Kind of work your way in.
Yeah. And I have to go with someone so I can share this stuff because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do
I
22
still think
full
like
mimosas.
flight options would be a good, or like mini options would be a good, but
We
Do
don't
you-
want people to feel cheated.
you can buy a full size one, but you could get like a showdown size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mimosas, I remember when I had my very first mimosa, I can tell you where I was, who was there. It's one of those things. And I was like, well, maybe I can bring a mimosa to you guys today. But
Oh
I
my gosh,
didn't want to make
was
that
generous of you.
didn't want to make that assumption. But,
Oh, we've sampled mimosas on
Yeah.
this. Beer Christmas.
bearing thing. Yeah.
Beer. Whiskey.
So is the Heritage Inn having the mimosa? Yeah. So that's near where I live. And so I was thinking about at least stopping in and seeing that.
Yeah.
And that's,
That's a good
like where I actually
place
found
to
out
start.
about your podcast was, I was staying at the Heritage Inn when I was trying to move in, and they had like Chamber of Commerce magazine, and it talked about like your podcast, and I was like, okay, let's look at that. And then that was a really good information about the entire city, like how many, like my friends in Seattle, like how many people live in Seattle, and I'm like, I mean, how many people live in Great Falls, and I'm like, well, you could fit all of them into the Seahawks Stadium.
Yeah.
And so from the Seattle perspective, that seems really small. Here, people think it's really, really big.
Yep. Third largest city in the state.
Yeah. and so that's how I found out your podcast, and I've been listening to ever since, like, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Beyond the River's Edge Trail, do you go out and do any day hikes or overnight hiking experiences, or just?
I've been wanting to. So you had someone on your podcast, Willie Sloan.
Yes.
And so then, of course, after I listen to your podcast, then I go and friend everyone.
Love it.
So he's, I have being a dancer for 20 years, been dance teacher for 20 years. My knees are not so good. So I was like, because he goes on like beautiful
yeah, some of his are
hikes.
pretty
Yeah.
intense. Yeah.
So I'm like, what are some hikes I can do with my puppies that are puppy friendly and knee friendly and that type of stuff. So that's what I'm more interested in. But I'm actually just happy on that 53 miles of the Riverside Trail. Like, honestly, I do the same 3 miles. I'm like, like so happy with it. I'm fine with it. My puppies.
And your dogs like it.
Yeah.
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 What kind of
Tell
dogs?
us about your dogs. Yeah.
Oh, they're golden retrievers. They're the love of my life. Ray and Rudy. And what cracks me up is my brothers were all ours as well. Rick, Randy, Ron, and Russ. So
That's my dad and the brothers and the Newth side of the family are the
Ours.
majority are ours.
Oh, okay.
I would have been Ross if I was a boy.
yeah. Oh, then I would have been Rachel.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And then that goes back to Ross and Rachel leads me to the
Exactly.
paleontology thing.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Thank
week.
you with Corey.
Yeah. And then that goes to me like, I definitely want to do what's the city called? with 31 people, Bynum?
Yep.
Bynum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the dinosaur center
Yeah.
is.
That's definitely something that I would want to do as well.
Yeah.
So
I just think it's so cool that they offer the opportunity to dig up
I love that.
fossils.
Like I want to go do that.
It would be cool. It's hot, but it would be
It
cool.
does sound very hot, but it would be a neat experience.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I get to make 2 trips to Fort Peck this year. So I'm really looking forward to that, where Peck's Rex is at.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to try and find out from the locals if anybody can go and see that dinosaur station thing they've got where they put all the bones and things.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you about that.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be neat.
But
yeah.
one thing going back to my Goldens that I would
Yes.
recommend for tourists is there are so many good places here. Like, let's say you come here and you're a tourist and you're like, you want to go do something, but you don't want your puppies to stay in the RV or alone.
Yeah.
Is there so many good places for like Happy Tails and Fetch and We on a Pet Resort for them to stay out like during the day? Like, as long as you have your paperwork in order, like as a tourist, it is amazing. Like when I've been going through chemo, like the fact that like the bark bus comes to my house,
I love
picks
that.
up my 2
Bark
Goldens
bus.
and takes
Yeah.
them there, you know, that's been invaluable for me right now. You know?
That's a really great thing because that's a great thing for people to know because someone
Yeah.
like me, I mean, I'm obsessed with my dogs and, I'm always, worried about what they're doing but if you're traveling with your dogs and you need a place to put them, like that's really good information for visitors to know.
we're mostly dog friendly, but there's some federal areas that they're not allowed. And then there's some things that you may want to do because we're so museum heavy.
Yeah.
That it might just be a crappy day for your dog if all you're doing is museums, and
Right.
give them an opportunity to run and have fun. I'm a fan of Happy Tails.
Yeah. I've done, Watson used to stay at Weona because they're ones where they get to be, like he was fine to be out and stuff. So Weona does a lot of that and where they get to be out a lot. For reference, so people know too, that like the farmer's market and things, you cannot bring your dog
That's true.
to that. So we love dogs here, but in terms of
Yeah.
businesses and
And then
events and things, it's a little
Downtown Summer Jam, not
hit or
dog
miss.
friendly.
Yeah.
And that's really just because there's too many
it's not safe for
people.
them.
and
Yeah.
it's not the environment that you
Yeah.
want your dog in. Loud music, hot.
Right. But when it comes to
Pavement.
exploring, we have plenty of options for
Yeah.
that. So I appreciate bringing that up because that's, we want people to be able to bring their animals, but have somewhere to put them during the day so they
and
can explore.
It's a wonderful, safe place, and then they're exhausted by the time they get home.
Yes.
It is just fantastic. I think
Yeah.
it's a great resource for tourists to our town is to go to those places. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely. And you said you do the same kind of section. You like the behind the interpretive center, kind of out that way section of the trail.
Oh yeah, so we start off. I always look at my app and see what time the sunrise is, and then my goal is to leave an hour and a half beforehand. And then we start off at the caboose. We start walking and we get all the way down towards the interpretive center, and then they get to play in the water a little bit, and then walk on back. And usually that first section, the first hour and a half. Well, that's the other thing about Great Falls. Is you can be on the riverside and you feel so safe. Like I'm with my 2 puppies.
Right.
And I just feel so safe, even by myself, just walking there. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, it's like that time where my puppies get to learn to interact with other humans and other dogs and everything. And we do that all the time. And it's fantastic. I love that.
That section is one of my favorite sections, especially in fall.
Yeah.
Of the trail.
I've been trying to
do
get
like
myself to do other sections of it, but the fact that my puppies know it now, we feel really safe. I don't know. And with that gorgeous sunrise, there's never a dull moment. So I don't mind.
Yeah. Have you been out to Ryan? Have you done all the waterfalls and dams in town?
Oh, not yet. So,
Okay.
so I've only been out to the Ryan one, and so I would find that interesting too. Like you did a segment on Facebook or something bigger than that, where it's we have 5 falls and 5 dams.
The how to get to them.
Yeah, and I like that a lot. So I've only been out to the Ryan Dam, but then dogs as well. There's only a certain part they're allowed to go out to. So it's also knowing that and respecting it as a tourist. Okay, no, my dog just kind of stays here in my Jeep, and that's okay. And I go explore and everything.
Well, I guess you walk by Black Eagle Falls every time you do the River's Edge Trail section there. So, yeah.
I love that they put up the
Flag.
American flag there.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Oh, it's so good and great for pictures, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been out on Black Eagle? Have you gone to the other side and gone out onto the island there too? Okay.
Just once with my neighbor, and it was just fantastic. That sunrise, just glow. It is amazing. Yeah.
That's that's kind of a hidden. That's more of a you can plainly see it down there, but it's more of a hidden. Well, not a lot of people know or realize you can go down on that island below
You got to
Black
be
Eagle.
really, really spunky when you come in here for
you to tell them
for
about
me
it.
to even tell you that exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember you said that.
Yeah.
You reserve that
I
for
hold it
special
back.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to come in and be grumpy on vacation, you're not getting my secret spot.
Well, that's what I remember about your podcast. One of my emails to you guys was during some fair or event, you're like, oh, there's this VIP seating. But if you email us, then you get not seating, but a toilet.
Yeah. Yes, that was
4th of July Hootenanny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's coming up again. And we
Yes.
are going to have
Yeah.
VIP
VIPs.
toilets.
Yeah. It's
Worth
the
it.
greatest part. Well, also, it comes with food.
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
year, a T-shirt.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
So if I
Big
can
deal.
interject myself into that, my birthday is the 4th of July.
Oh.
And I take that entire week off.
As you should.
And I'll be all done with this chemo stuff. And so I'm going to be
yay.
hootenanning as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah.
I
So
love that. Did
It's
you
going to
go
be a
last
good
year?
time.
Yeah. Well, you've been
yes, I
You've
did go
done-
last
okay.
year because I got your VIP.
the VIP. Yes. I love it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This year, Rodney Atkins is coming, and then the next day, July 5th, Aaron Tippin.
Yeah.
Why do I come up with random names off the top of my head?
Country, similar.
It
don't know.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got baseball, we've got country music, we've got fireworks.
Yeah, the 4th of July, Independence Day, is a really fun time in Great Falls because you have the parade where just so many people come out for the parade downtown. Then that section at 5th and Central gets transformed into the concert for the Hootenanny, which is free. Come to that. Then you can check out baseball, or if baseball's not your thing, go to the Electric City Speedway. Both have really good views. Both have fireworks. I mean, it really is a good time. And it's your birthday. So there you go. Yeah. It's our number one fan's birthday that day. So
Have you seen Aaron Tippin in concert?
No, not yet. I did join the Newberry.
Oh, the Sound Association.
Yeah. But then with going through this chemo, I haven't been able to go to as many concerts. But I will tell you a difference. Like I went to a concert maybe after my first chemo. Big difference here. Because so it was packed. Newberry is packed. It was from shoulder to shoulder. It was great. Oh my gosh. People actually have their cell phones in their pockets.
And
they're
they're
actually
sitting there listening.
They're actually talking to each other and listening. And it was like only when the artist, maybe it was like the performer before, was like, hey, take my picture and post on Instagram. But besides that, cell phones were in the pockets.
That's
People know each other
amazing.
here. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, they talk about like Kevin Bacon having like 7 degrees of separation.
Yeah, right.
Here
Yep.
it's like it's 2 degrees
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
separation. And it was just me still being an outsider. It's just wonderful to watch and observe. It's like, oh yes, it was just very cool to see. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this community now.
You've talked a couple times about kind of finding peace here. And some of that, I imagine, comes from just less hustle and bustle, being able to go out and do the fly fishing. But kind of where does that come from? Where do you find that peace here? Kind of what's the major difference that you have that kind of just internal satisfaction being here?
Oh, there's just so much on that. Like just simply like waking up and I look around my house and I'm like, what? I moved to Montana? Like sometimes it's still surreal that I live here. And then on that morning walk with the puppies, you know, you see the sunrise and you see the mountains and it's just amazing. But everything here, it's a little bit easier. Like, let's say you want to, like, I go to like Miss Linda's tap class, Miss Linda's dance studio. I go to her tap class or anything that you want to do here. It's just like 5 minutes, 7 minutes away.
Yeah.
While in Seattle, it was like, okay, 35, 45 minutes of traffic. Then you finally get there. There's just, everything is a little calmer. Also here, like the city life, everything if you want to like hang out with people, you had to like plan 3 weeks in advance or even 6 weeks, you get on their calendar. Here, it's much different. Everyone, it's like as if the weather dictates what's happening. Like if there's good weather, people drop what they do and they just go. And I'm like, where is everyone? Yeah. So,
Outside.
So it's like we really live. I can't wait till like people feel I'm officially a Montanan. And I don't know how many winters I have to be here
Just
to be.
call yourself one. You love being here.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
But it's like, we live in the present here. And like, if it's going to be a snow day, but by work, we're going to go to Showdown, right? Or if it's a beautiful sunny day, 70 degrees, it's like, okay, we're going on
outside.
So I've loved to learn how to do that because I was definitely more of a project manager and like scheduling out so many months in advance. And this has been really good to be like, okay, well, neighbor, you know, somebody invites me somewhere, like learning to say yes, you know, and whatever's on my to-do list, it can be done tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so that sense of calm, like, and just enjoying that. I've been learning so much so much from the people here, like, especially going through chemotherapy, like on my doorstep, I literally get like meals from my neighbors, like every other day. Right. And then, Friday, it was like really bad chemo day. I was like really feeling sick. I went to bed at 3:00. I woke up Saturday morning. My entire front lawn was mowed. All the plants were taken care of. They were like loved. And I'm like, I wake up, I start texting my neighbors. I'm like, who, like what? It turned out to be like 3 of my neighbors did that. I had no idea I was asleep.
Right.
But that's the culture here is like how people naturally just come together. So that's what I want to learn to be more of, not like, oh, I'm giving you something. What do I get in return? It's like, no, just give. Just give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was home for a period of time and our neighbor calls, why are you home? And I'm like, Well, I'm had this procedure done, and he's like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Everything's good." And
But
so
he
then-
noticed.
Yeah.
He noticed a difference.
Yeah, he's retired, so he monitors us pretty closely. He's like our dad. He yells at us when we do things stupid, or you don't need to be spending your money on that. Well, no, probably not. But I'm
Here
gonna.
we are. But someone watching out. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if something goes awry, he's going to notice.
I like getting yelled at by my neighbor.
Yes, I do too.
That's my favorite.
It's something that I really appreciate about you, Victoria, is that you've dove in, right? Like you talk about, like, you go to Pizzazz and you join the wine club. You go to the Newberry thing. You take classes at Miss Linda's. You really dive into the community. And I think that's unfortunately more of a rare quality. So what motivates you to want to do that, to dive in, and how did you find, outside of our podcast, obviously, how did you decide, like, okay, I'm just going to go do these things? Because I think for a lot of people, they don't necessarily even think about that, or that seems too outside their comfort zone to just say, like, oh, hey, I'm just going to go try all these things.
Well, honestly, the first year was just, I was in survival mode. I just kind of kept to myself. And I think even the shutdowns, the pandemic made me more introverted.
Yeah.
And I got really like easy just hanging out at home with my puppies, working. And then I was like, okay, no, you need to talk to real people and not discuss the, politics with my puppy, right?
Yeah.
And so then one of the best resources, even before I got here, was Ask Great Falls. And so I think the person that leads that is a gentleman named Jason. And then through him, I got this thing called Coffee and... What is it called? Oh, Coffee and Business.
Yep.
And so that's for small business owners that can come together and network a little bit on Wednesday mornings at 9:30. Usually I have a meeting at that time, so I can't attend it very often. But then that led me to meeting someone I know you guys know, Ingie.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
Ingie's
Yes.
Fashions.
Uh-huh.
And then she was like talking about how she's part of Toastmasters. And I do a lot of corporate speaking events. And I'm like, okay, I need to get better at my ums, my so's, my ahs, and all the words that I make up. And so then I went to Toastmasters. I go there every Wednesday at 6:30. And that is a fantastic place because you have all these people from all walks of life. And they're just coming together to be positive and to like help each other learn how to be better speakers. And then that's where I found out about the Chicks of Downtown. And also then I joined this club called the Optimist Club of Great Falls. And I don't know, I think it's anything in life. Like if you want more, like even my year of just like being kind of by myself in my house, it's like I wanted to give back to the community that has been so accepting of me. And then like kind of finding out, okay, where's going to be my little tribe, right? And so, no, I haven't found my best friend yet or my best tribe yet. And I'm still the new girl. But it is okay because it's going to be like the next 10 years till I find that. And that's fine. But
Be
you have...
selective.
Yeah, but you have to put yourself out there to do that. So maybe it's just like who I am a little bit, like why I did that.
I love that, though. I mean, the world, in my opinion, the world needs more of that. And I see, and I've gone on rants about this before, but where people on sometimes pages like Ask Great Falls have really negative responses. And it's so frustrating because there's so much good about Great Falls and so many things there really are to do. So I appreciate that you just dove in and you were like, oh, this led to this and this led to this and this led to this. And I'm saying yes to all of it. And yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think Great Falls is the kind of community where you can just be, if you're open enough to it, there's plenty of opportunities to engage in any area that you want to be involved in. You just have to show
Put
up.
yourself out there more
and
for
go,
it. Yeah.
Hi, I'm willing to do stuff.
Right.
And the doors will open because there's not a nonprofit in our community or organization in our town that doesn't want more people or
Involvement.
assistance.
Yeah.
So do you still dance?
I would like to. This is bringing up like one thing. I don't want the outside city girl coming into the small town. But it was interesting to find out that you go to Montana and there's not really country dancing here at Great Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
I
is
know
the
that-
odd one.
Interesting, isn't it?
So I know like at elevation there might be a little bit. So my goal is, well, not my goal, but like maybe at the Newberry or like one of my favorite places in summertime, the Beacon Ice House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how they have that outdoor amphitheater
Right on the
and,
Sun River.
and it's like, oh my goodness, there could be like my vision, because I'm actually like to go to bed early, but oh my goodness, like before like whoever the artist comes, like, ooh, we could do a little country dance and
I love
Yeah.
that idea.
do a little line dance, a little exercise while
Yeah.
we're,
That's
Waiting
a great
and-
idea.
yeah,
Get people all jazzed up.
yeah. So that
That's a
you
great
know,
idea.
maybe that's like somehow I can give back to the community would be like helping out with that. I
Starting
think
that.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
would be fun.
Well, we can't wait. You tell us when we're doing it. We'll share. We'll
We'll
share
show
all
up
about it.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video it.
That's
and
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of dance did you teach?
Oh, so I taught everything from hip hop to musical theater to lyrical dance. That was back in the day. I would have taught ballet. Like now that I'm older, my body doesn't move. Like when I turned 40, I stopped teaching hip hop. I'm like, oh, this is not good. And so it was like, okay, good. Next generation can teach the next hip hop. But like I never really taught ballet, even though I could. I was the type of person where I didn't want to listen to the piano music. Like if we can listen to Eminem and do the tondus,
I like that.
Yeah.
I would do that. But that's what's been great about going to Miss Linda's is now I just get to be a student and I'm in the old lady tap class where I get to just like I'm finding out my left foot doesn't move as good as my right foot, and it's very fun to do that. Yeah.
Very cool.
So are you involved in the Great Falls Theater Company at all?
Oh, not yet. Like I
should
like
be.
other things and I like observe it and I see like what they were doing. Like they did a play recently that I was in high school, the one with the hairdresser
Steel
stuff.
Magnolias.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
wanted to go see that. You
It
know,
was. They did fantastic.
yeah.
Still upset I didn't get to go.
Yeah, it was really good.
But even if like I could just be like an usher,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will take whatever you. Yeah. It's
That and Mansfield Center for the Performing Arts
Oh, yeah.
always will take ushers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a simple way to be a part of your community is to do that type
just
of
get
stuff.
involved
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. Have you in conversations with friends or people, in Seattle still, have they been surprised by the amount of things that you do here or that are available to do here in Great Falls? Sometimes I think, and I have friends who live in Seattle. I love them dearly, but often I think there's this perception of Great Falls or Montana. It's like, oh, you're just, little country folk there, nothing to do, like nothing going on. Have they been surprised by like everything you've gotten to do or been involved in here, or do they not really have a reaction?
No, they have a reaction. They are just so happy for me.
Good. Yeah.
And the fact that when the shutdowns happened, everything went online. We're all on Zoom, we're on Microsoft Teams. Like it didn't really matter if like I'm there 20 minutes far away from you in Seattle or if I'm in Montana, because we're going to have the same interaction, right?
Yeah.
And that they're just happy. They're just so pleased that I have my puppies and that I go on these because I go on these weekend trips where I went off to Shelby, I went off to Havre, I went off to Lewistown. I think the thing with Seattle is, I started off in Seattle in 91, 92. And I should have known then Seattle wasn't the place for me because I did not like grunge and I did not like coffee.
Oh,
And so,
Yeah.
that's the whole Seattle vibe
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Right.
and so it was a fun place to be, but I should have known that. And I did have a stint in San Francisco for a little while, but but now my friends in Seattle see that I am they see that I'm chill.
Yeah.
I'm okay, yeah,
Yeah.
do
Sounds
that.
good.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's-
oh, we like this side of you.
yeah, they're very happy for me, and then I always say it's 61 minutes to Great Falls because the airline that's all that
Yeah.
it is, and so
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's a really easy
It's
flight.
a quick flight. You're spending more time in the airport than you are actually
are.
like
Right.
driving, flying here. So, yeah. So, I used to do these women's retreats in Seattle, and so I'm thinking about bringing them back here to Great Falls, where it's like my friends could come from Seattle, and like we do like a little women's 3-day retreat. And you guys had mentioned this place like maybe 35 minutes outside Great Falls, and then even if it's like smaller, like there was a podcast about the Ursuline Center, and
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that would be fantastic too. So not just like, just the Great Falls thing, but immerse yourself here, and have that fun. So
Yeah.
So what's the one big thing you're looking to get done before the end of this year?
one big thing, well, to be cancer free.
Yes. Yay.
Yes, which supposedly I'm on track with that. But then I would just say, just really become part of this city. Like,
Call yourself a Montanan.
yeah, like when does that happen? Does somebody like come
This
in
is
like
a good question.
like do they like say you are now
I think it depends
Montanan?
who you ask.
Oh, 100%.
Because me,
my
I'm like,
husband will never allow
I
me to
know.
be a Montanan.
yeah,
Oh.
I tell him to shove it. So
that's the thing. There's some that's like, unless
You
you,
have to
were
be
born
born.
here, you're
Oh.
not.
stupid.
Neither one of us were born here, but
Nope.
we've both been here. You've been here longer.
Long time.
Like, yeah. And then to me, I hear you like,
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you're
You're
Montanan.
Montanan.
Your heart's here. You dove right in. You want to be here.
we'll give you a pin after
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
And it'll say Great Falls, Montana. So then you
Yeah.
can just wear it and you're like, no, I'm part of the team.
I got
I'm
that.
official.
This is official. Yeah, we will officially like we'll knight you, but like
I don't-
officially Montana.
We can give ourselves the power to do that.
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
That sounds good.
we make up our own
Yeah.
rules, so it's fine.
Just one other thing I wanted to ask you. So you mentioned going to small, like these things for small businesses. What do you do for work?
Oh, so I own a business which is celebrating their 20th anniversary right now, and it's called Two Claps, One Snap. I brought you some
Oh
grocery
yeah,
bags.
she brought us some bags.
Ooh. And
Julie will be envious of your bag.
Yes, she will. Yeah,
She had to connect the dots.
I know. I was like, Julie, who? Grocery store. Okay, got it. Yes.
nice job on that.
Yeah.
And so we started off on Microsoft Campus 2004, and basically my company basically took all these techies and we had recess for them. Everything from meditation
Cool.
to yoga to they have these huge fields out there, and so we do like, fun, like basically it's like recess for, techie people.
The corporate.
The
Yeah.
corporate side. And so then when everything went online, that was really like a
What do
game
I do?
changer for me because I didn't even own a laptop at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, flip that on over. And then, of course, all these techie people taught me how to do it. And now we have instructors from all over, and we've expanded past Microsoft. And that's my little company. And
Cool.
So
yeah.
basically, it forces people to take a break during their day and
Yeah.
focus on themselves.
so now that they're, working from home, still in their pajamas, they can take class in their
Yeah.
pajamas and have high quality instruction. So
That's great.
That's good.
Very cool.
yeah, very
So
fun.
that's still something that's happening. You're doing from here, but all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
And so now, nice with having Montana home, like doing from my tiny little town home was very hard to do.
Sure.
Here, it's like I have a nice little studio, that I can do that from.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat. So,
Yeah.
and can people find you online then?
Yeah,
Facebook, Instagram, all those
Yep,
things?
it's 2 claps, 1 snap. We do it at the end of every class.
I
So,
love I love that.
yeah.
Just start doing
You're
that.
so good.
Well, I mean, I was the cheerleader, so I know how to clap.
Oh my goodness.
But that
You
reminds
waited this long for that to slip out?
Oh, you never knew that, huh?
Nope.
Well, that's good then, because I feel like people have the stereotypes of what they think a cheerleader is, and people are always surprised when I say that. And I'm going to take that as a compliment because I'm breaking
Sure.
your mold of the stereotype of that. Anyway,
But that leads me to like people like I don't know if you guys probably know, but like the Gibson Park, like
Yeah.
yoga with Sage.
Sage,
Now,
yes.
now I have not met Sage yet, but we are friends on Facebook, and
Yeah.
I'm eager to like I actually put her class because even though I teach, it's more fun to be a student.
Yeah.
So to be able to go to the P. Gibson Park and do yoga, that's
Yeah.
actually on my calendar when I'm feeling better. So yeah.
I do yoga classes at Habit here in town, and I do them Thursday mornings, and I'm now in my second week of incorporating Tuesday mornings as well.
Nice.
So she was actually right behind me in class this morning. I've never like actually met her, but she's been
Yeah.
in the same class. And she's doing a lot of yoga classes. But yeah, these are Sundays in the summer, Gibson Park, 10 a.m. on Sundays. Anybody can show up. She said, you bring your spouse, your kids, your pets, whatever. She's like, I've seen it all. Just come enjoy, any skill level. So if you're here visiting, want to enjoy the park in a different way,
Yeah.
it's free.
I
Show
think
up.
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
that
Well,
she
that's a
does that.
great way to spend a Sunday morning.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful park. Enjoy the summer.
I wonder
Get a
how
little
close they
movement.
get to the ducks.
It's duck yoga
Wow.
instead of goat yoga.
They come and they're looking for food.
Yeah.
They're not super aggressive until you
Well,
feed them once, and then they're like,
the
"There's
geese
more
can
where that
be-
came from."
It's kind of like with the bison. Just don't try to pet the geese.
Oh yeah, no.
It's not going to go well.
That's one thing I would say to tourists is, like, especially if you're driving along the riverside, you
Yeah.
must slow down for the geese
Yeah.
Yeah,
and just let them do their thing. Don't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
just gotta let them pass.
And that would be another thing I'd lead to for tourists is Montana people. Okay, not myself yet, but people drive fast here.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so very fast because they're always going long distances to other
Yeah.
towns, right? I think. And so just like if you're a tourist and you have 5 people behind you, just pull over, let them pass,
Oh yeah.
and then go about your way. But
Yeah.
people do, in general, drive pretty darn hurry here.
That's a new perspective. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well,
Yeah.
I think in like big cities, you're always in traffic. So you're never driving fast. You're just kind of like
That's true.
half listening to a iPod, half like,
So maybe though it's more aggressive in cities because you have to get around, but people here are
Correct.
faster.
yes. I
like
would,
out on the highway, they're definitely driving too fast. I
Yeah.
can tell you
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In town.
No.
Hit or miss. It's going to be one extreme or the other in town, I feel like. Yeah. And 4-way stops. Ooh, people have problems with those.
Well, we can't wait to have you back on when you're cancer free and you've had more adventures that you're going to
And
share
you've
with
started
us.
line dancing and country
Yep.
dancing at the Beacon and your
Yep.
women's retreats. Yeah.
Women's retreat does intrigue me.
Intrigue you.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. You laughed at yourself and I didn't get it. So I was.
No, because it's retreat intrigue.
Oh, okay.
Just fell funny out of my mouth
Gotcha.
to myself. Goodness. So thank you for being on the
Yes,
podcast.
Thank you so much.
We enjoyed spending our day with you so far. There's a lot of day left. That's why I said it that way. I apologize. Listeners have no idea what time it is in current
12,
space
10
and time.
p.m.
Yep.
on Tuesday.
So thank you for being here. We can't wait to see all the other adventures you do and share them on our Facebook and Instagram or wherever Shannon does that. And then we'll get you your Great Falls pin so that you can be an
Yes.
official Montanan here after the show.
Yes.
So, folks, until we see your bright, happy, smiling, healthy face here in our great, great city, we hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you might be.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.